story is called Donald Duck in Disneyland, and it's told by Annie North Bedford and pictures by the Walt Disney Studio. It was first published in 1973 as a little golden book. "Hurry up, boys, keep together and stay right with me," said Donald Duck anxiously as he and his nephews moved along with the crowd towards the gates of Disneyland. Soon they found themselves in the railroad station entrance to Disneyland. Beyond the open doorway stretched Main Street, USA, and beyond that, as the boys knew well, spread a magic wonder world. "Come on," cried Huey, tugging at Donald. "Let's go to Fantasyland," cried Dewey. "No, the world of tomorrow," said Louie. "Rocket to the moon," Huey broke in. Donald, holding up his hand. "First we must take the train ride around Disneyland for the splendid overall view." So he bought 4 tickets. But when he turned around, not a single nephew was in sight. So Donald hopped aboard and found himself a seat. The train started up and soon was steaming past tropical jungles of true life Adventureland. As Donald watched, dazzled by the bright flowers and brilliant birds in the trees, a riverboat chugged into view, and there at the rail lounged Huey Duck. But Huey could not see an alligator which was waiting just around the bend with wide and grinning jaws. "Watch out, Huey!" Donald cried, but the train chugged out of sight before the boat reached the bend. "Stop the train!" cried Donald. "I have to get out!" But the train went chugging on. Ahead, a whistle tooted. Donald looked around. The scenery had changed. Here a paddle wheel excursion boat was steaming down a river of America, and on the far bank sprawled a quaint old river town. Donald scanned the steamer's decks. Just then the steamer whistle screeched, "Toot, toot, toot!" And there, hanging on the whistle cord, was grinning Dewey Duck. Zzz, crack, a rifle shot echoed in the air. Uncle Donald jumped. Around a curve in a desert road, a stagecoach came lurching at full speed. Just behind it raced wild Indians, crouched low in their saddles, waving their bows and tomahawks and shrieking war cries that curdled the blood. At the window of the stagecoach, 2 faces appeared. Surely Huey and Louie Duck. "Down, boys!" shrieked Donald as the train raced past. "Get out of their range! Drop down!" Poor Donald, he was trembling as the Disneyland train left the painted desert far behind. Had his warning come in time? He could only hope it had. Down below ran another train, the Casey Jr. on a dizzy ride, and in the cab of the engineer, whom should Donald spy but Dewey Duck, waving to Uncle Donald. "Keep your eyes on the track," shouted Uncle Donald. "Watch where you're taking the train." As Donald sat trembling in his seat, down the aisle the jolly conductor came. "No sign of your nephews yet?" he smiled. "Well, don't you worry, they'll turn up safe and sound." With a pat on Donald's shoulder, he went on his way. "Turn up," Donald gasped. "Safe and sound?" He shuddered. For a few moments then, the train chugged past a green and shady grove. Donald stretched and took a deep, happy breath. Everything looked so peaceful here. "Whee! Look at me, Uncle Donald!" cried a familiar voice. Donald spun around. A pirate ship was sailing towards the clouds on its way to Peter Pan's Neverland. From the deck, Louie Duck waved both hands at Uncle Don, but far ahead Donald could see Captain Hook with a drawn sword, waiting for the ship to come near. "Get your head down and hang on tight," called Donald, but Louie had not heard. As he disappeared, he was waving still. Donald was the first one off the train, but his shaking knees would not take him far. He had to stop and lean against a post, one hand over his eyes. Where, he wondered, was the hospital? He supposed he should look there first. "Uncle Donald, hurry up, the train's about to leave." Huey, Dewey and Louie were dancing around him. "We've had a wonderful time," they said. "Now we're ready to go with you for a quiet trip on the train." "Quiet!" squeaked Donald. "You boys go ahead. I can't stand that excitement again." So while the boys hopped onto the train, Donald tottered off to take a peaceful rocket trip to the moon. And that's the end.